Welcome, man.
Abra.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys being on.
Excited to
We
be here.
appreciate you having us.
So I found your channel or page or whatever because Freddie Lux, VFA, Veterans for Airsoft,
Okay.
Yes.
he posted something about it, and I think you guys, I don't know, I honestly I can't remember, but I saw maybe you commented on something he had.
We are participating in the event that they have next month
That's right, the
Memorial
in
Day.
Jacksonville.
Memorial Day, yeah,
Mhm.
right. So I saw that, and then I found your page, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I'm trying to branch out with the podcast because turn this. Oh, there we go. This started out as an airsoft channel in general, and it turned into a podcast because my two sons that got into airsoft with their buddy got out of airsoft. So, and I want to continue doing something for the channel. And so I was already talking with people, like our viewers from our channel on our Discord. So they would video call me, right, on our Discord. And this is before I was able to get out of the house. I was laid up. I was paralyzed with an illness a few years ago called Guillain-Barre syndrome. And so I'm 100% healthy, in shape, everything's fine. And then my hands stopped working, my feet stopped working, and 5 days later I'm staring at the ceiling, couldn't talk. So life-changing event, obviously. So
Definitely a scary one.
yeah. When I was able to walk down the hallway and get into here and make it into this chair, I sat here and looked at this computer screen like, all right, I need to do something to stay sane. I was literally going nuts. I was sleeping like 2 hours a day. I was on 60 milligrams of prednisone a day for a year. I swelled up like a balloon. I gained 100 pounds in like 5 months. Stretch marks like a woman that had twins, okay? And I was angry.
Yeah.
A lot of outbursts and shit. So I needed something. I started 2 other YouTube channels before this one, and I did not get into social media before I was sick. I had a Facebook page only for my my mom and sisters up in Cleveland, Ohio. I live in South Carolina. Been down here almost 20 years. So I didn't get into social media like at all. I played video games. I worked like 70 hours a week in a factory. My wife and I have 5 kids. We've been married a long time. They're all in their 20s. We have 7 grandkids. And yeah, dude.
Oh, good.
So we were busy. And then everything just came to a halt. But so I was looking for something to do. When my kids, my 2 boys were in their early 20s. They came home with these airsoft guns that looked like real ones. And I said, what is that? I said, let me film it. You know, this would be cool. We started this channel, and now I'm doing podcasts. So, but honestly, the podcast thing turned out to be, when I was talking with people on Discord, they would call me, like I said, a video call, because I was working on some of these guns. I was teching some of their airsoft guns as they broke, and some of our viewers would call with questions. And I'm like, hey, just video call me and show me what you're looking at. And so we'd fix the problem in 5 minutes, but we'd talk for an hour. And I go, you know what? I'm going to record
Human
these.
connection.
Right.
There you go.
And I'm going to throw them up on the channel because we had run out of content because my boys weren't really playing airsoft. So I
damn kids.
Children not playing with toy guns.
I'm telling
anymore.
you, right? What?
Get you into a hobby and then they run away.
And then they
What's up
left.
with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
being a good father, and here you are
Being a
leaving me
good
hanging.
father and then they grow up. How dare they?
How dare they? Yeah, that's actually what happened. They didn't just stop playing. They got, they were in their early 20s when they started. They within a couple years, they all got married, started having kids, had bought houses. They got promotions at work, different responsibilities, just life, normal stuff. And then I continued with
Catch up to
this.
dad.
Excuses. I still play Pokemon. I'm about to be 35 and have 2 kids.
Right?
These are facts. I've seen it.
I play
Switch
all
is
that
literally-
stuff, man.
If I had a right hand, I could literally grab the Switch for you. It's right there.
Nice.
But I
Hell yeah. Yeah, my Switch is like, it's right here behind this Halo figure,
there you go.
charging right now.
I have a Halo 5 signed by the entire creative arts team.
Oh, dude.
Like, I don't care about. I was to say I don't care about. They made the dang game. Like, that's the
Yep.
autographs I was excited about.
For
I
real.
don't even have an Xbox, but I have that.
That's awesome. That was an iconic game for me. I was a PC gamer before that came out, and then I went over to my buddy's house who we played games together, whatever, on his PC, and then I go over there and he's, for a cookout, and he's playing this game on this big screen TV that has vibrant colors. I mean, it's fast action. It's like, what the hell is this? And he goes, oh man, it's this new game called Halo. It just came out. And I looked at this thing, this little console thing. It looked cool. It had a big X on it. Within a week, I went out and got it, and I was hooked. Man, Halo. I read all the books. I was hooked on the story and all that stuff. So, yep.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
You gotta like when something finds you.
Right. No kidding. Yep.
How I got married.
I'm gonna tell her that something made you think of your wife. Like this, you called her a something on the podcast.
Ooh.
Oh.
Just to love me.
So I
know
thought I thought maybe you guys, if you want to take turns and go introduce yourself real quick, and then we'll get into how you met. Oh, Freddie over here.
Age before ugly. Go ahead, Bryan.
Right, roll with it.
Oh, how I met these guys. Well, Ty, we all met through a mutual friend, one of our business partners. Guy named Joe Bachman is how we all met. I met Lance through him, bit the Tin Roof in Orlando. Couple years, actually, what's it been? 3 years now? 2.5 years?
Yeah.
Lance
At
was not
least.
the same guy he is now. He was suffering through PTSD and some traumatic things, and I had known him for about 4 minutes, and a guy got in his face, and I stood up knowing that he was friends with another friend. And I said to his lovely wife, what do you want me to do? And she said, well, get him out of here. I drug Lance out of the bar with his reject service dog.
Nice.
He can hear you.
I love Bandit. He's just, and that is the start of the brotherhood that has come. I mean, I am closer to these guys than I am my own brother. I mean, we are, there's 5 of us. 4 of us are very, very tight. One is kind of on the outskirts a little bit. But there's nobody you see in the square that wouldn't take a bullet for the other one or anyone of their family. And that's kind of how this thing grows. SFH was started during COVID by 5 of us that were just dads trying to see people suffering, see people losing everything. Businesses were shutting down, and we wanted to help out. There were people that were fighting to survive. They were cancer survivors, and they were abuse survivors. They were recovering addicts, and we just wanted to do something to give back. And that is where still fucking here came from. We're a podcast, right? I can say that.
Oh yeah, there's no rules.
As far as YouTube, you can't say the C word or the N word.
Well, that doesn't work for anything that we do, so we're good.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say, oh no.
Knowing Ty, I mean, there's a guy that has died 13 plus times, sent home to die on American soil, refused to stay dead. There is no better face of our company or positivity ambassador in the world than Tyler J. Southern.
No, Bryan. getting all cartoon bashful over here.
Yeah, you did.
Don't get teary-eyed already, man. We got
shucks. Fiddlesticks, if
we
you
got
will.
time, bro. We got time.
All right, I'm so
Yeah,
anyway.
Lance.
Yeah, we'll move on to Lance then, I guess. How's that?
Oh, we're tagging me.
Say-
Okay.
I was saying, well, yeah, we're talking about who we are as people.
Awesome. Well, I personally met Bryan, Tyler. I mean, mutual friend, same thing. And Bryan pulled me out of a bar, like you said, evidently to someone twice my size, which I don't remember. But so
you look like a big dude. That would be like a giant dude.
He was a
If he
big
was
dude.
twice your size.
He was a big dude, and Lance is not tall. Lance is beefy.
Lance
but
is stocky, but he's not
Okay.
tall.
Not
Gotcha.
tall.
I'm a short guy.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I'm the short, stocky guy that it took until high school to be able to get on the, fast roller coasters and stuff. But I'm good now.
SFH is short and stocky. That's what we are.
I
None
caught
of
up.
us are
It's good.
tall. No one's tall and lean at SFH.
So I had met Tyler once before, but just in passing, but we got to talking thanks to the same mutual friend and have became, like Bryan said, the closest of friends. But the biggest thing for me with the whole SFH setup is it has been healing for me to be able to show the things that the three of us have went through and put it out there and say, hey, it's okay to talk about it. Hey, it's okay. Other people have been through it and help them through those walks. And that's our whole purpose behind SFH. I mean, as Bryan will say it, and he'll probably say it 3 or 4 times while we're on here, I'm not out to make a fucking dime. I'm out to help other people and help to see other people succeed in their own walk of life, whatever trauma or whatever they're going through.
Right.
Well,
Uh,
there's nobody that hasn't gone through the fight of their own. I mean, Ty's house just shut down on him. But Ty has been through what I deem the most extraordinary fight of any human being I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
But then Ty will tell you what I went through earlier in my life with my childhood was my hell. So we've all been through something and come out on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, at no point did I have to keep my head on a swivel when I was growing up. You went through something that I've never experienced in my life. So
At the end of the
it's
day,
not about comparison either way.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, one person's hell is one person's hell. That is your hell. Everybody has their own state of hell and their own state of hostility or whatever.
Not supposed to compare.
Yeah,
No.
never.
Just be.
Yeah,
And
just
then
be- and just tell your story.
I'm still fucking here.
Yeah.
Right, because when I have people on, they the reason I don't have rules on here, like censorship and all that kind of crap, is I want it to be an open conversation, a free conversation. So sometimes people get personal when they're talking on here. It just however the conversation goes, and I don't want them to be thinking about, oh dang, I shouldn't have said that word or whatever. I don't care if I put this on every platform out there, every audio podcast platform, every video platform I can. So if it gets taken down somewhere, oh well, it'll be up somewhere else. Like, I don't care. My mission here is to get these people's stories out that they're going to help somebody down the road.
Right.
And I say, I've said it before where, our self-pity, right? The more time I spend in self-pity, the more time I'm wasting. Like, this person that maybe a year from now that's supposed to hear my story, they're waiting on me. And the longer I sit and wallow in the shit,
Dude, I sat
not
in that
helping
dark
anybody,
spot
bro.
for a minute. I sat in that dark spot for a minute.
I've done it numerous times. And then the
but
day I
until-
say, all right, I'm done with that, the next day is great. And then the next day I'm back in the shit again. It's like, we're up and down sometimes. That's just how it goes. But I want these stories to get out, and I want them to be as open and free as possible. And I don't agree with all the censorship stuff anyway. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm from the Philly area, so I ask because every other word out of my mouth is fuck this and fuck that from the time I wake up to the time I lay myself down. It's just what we do.
Yeah, and that you can speak like that on here as well. Okay. It's no big deal. Unless you guys want to, if you're putting us on your channel and you want to hold back for that, that's fine too. But yeah,
Have you seen
good.
what the second word is?
Yeah,
I was going to say that
Right.
a third of
If
our
they're-
logo is fucking.
That's
Someone-
true.
That's one of my biggest things, because we have this happen to us all the time. Oh, we love your brand. We love what you stand for. But did you really have to use that word? I was like, absolutely.
Straight up.
Absolutely. Because I am still fucking here.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm still fucking here for a reason. And so are you. And so is everybody else.
It's a statement, and it's a bold statement, and it doesn't work with, do you try other words? What do you try? Like,
We're
still
on when we
freaking
have
here.
when we have news outlets, we usually go with effing
Yeah.
still effing here as far as, because news affiliates won't allow us to say it, of course, and they don't have a freaking crap, I can't remember what the dang department's called that'll bleep it.
Oh yeah, where it's delayed and then somebody hits the button. Yeah,
most of the news things that they'll throw us on is live.
Right.
Or quick turnaround, and they don't have time to play with it. So yeah, we usually just go with effing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but our first day on TV, they let effing go and bleeped here.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Still fucking bleep. I was just like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay.
Because it's a 4-letter word, they had to do it.
That guy got fired. Okay, y'all got somebody fired because your name.
Actually, he is with another network now.
There you go.
He moved up thanks to us.
But so many people said something about that when we put out, I don't know if it was our second or third shirt, fuck cancer.
Yeah. Right
out. I mean, if you're gonna I mean, I've had some older women at events say, and I feel like I'm screaming through this thing.
It doesn't sound like it. You're fine.
Older women say, well, why do you have the name? Why is it? And if Tyler's rolling by, it's just the best to say, you see what that man's been through? He's fucking here.
Right.
Present.
And that's enough right there. If they're not, you tell the story. And I mean, my mother's, I'm not going to say her age, but I'm 56. My mother is older.
Okay.
She wears our fuck cancer shirt.
Gotcha.
But then there are some family members of ours that just don't get the name, and that's okay too. We're not for everybody. We're trying to help who we can help, spread the message, and if you don't like it, then.
But if you can't get over a word, then you're probably not our people.
Yeah, you are a target.
Right. And my family, it's not beef with the word. My family's beef is that we don't have colors yet. It's all black, and my dad refuses to wear a black shirt.
Really?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
So yeah, my dad's a 20-year Navy vet and biker and salesman and all this stuff. Like he'll cuss his head off for you, but yeah, it has nothing to do with fucking being in the title. It has everything to do with that it's not highlighter orange. Like he wears the safety colors. He's a walking freaking glow belt. And yeah, like
bro, tell him to wear it while he's riding his bike under, like that's his undershirt, and he can take his vest off and be like, "Look, okay."
Yeah, it's he won't black ain't it, and it's funny because he rode motorcycles since he's 10, and it will not wear a black t-shirt to save anyone's unless it's long sleeve and it's cold because that man cannot do cold. He left Baltimore and never turned around. Let his blood go water thin, and fucking he can't handle cold anymore. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't like the cold either. My wife and I grew up in Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, Akron, and I grew up in the cold. Went in the Marine Corps after high school. I go, buddy, Paris Island. And so I come down to Paris Island. It was October. I went October 11th. And then graduated January 5th.
So you went when it was cold by South Carolina standards.
Right, yeah. And it was like, I'm like, shit, this is hot to me, you know? But, and then I got stationed in Okinawa my first year. And, it's hot as hell. Loved it. Loved the heat. And then I spent, I don't know if it was a month that we spent over there for Operation Team Spirit in South Korea. But this is Operation Team Spirit 1990. And that's a long time ago, boys. And so it was cold as shit, bro, because it was like during winter, like December or January or something. 50 below was nothing. And
Frozen chosen, man.
Dude, we were actually the first large group, not just my unit, but everyone, all of us that were there, the first large group to wear Gore-Tex on an operation.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool? And we never heard of it.
I had one of those where we were one of the first units to get something. That's rad though. Gore-Tex, holy crap.
Gore-Tex, bro.
I apologize. I apologize that I was born in 1989.
That's when I went.
Bryan, Gore-Tex is weather gear.
Thank you. It does get cold up here. I know what Gore-Tex is. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm just checking, buddy.
Oh yeah, that's not a military only thing.
I was gonna say it was. During when I got out of the Corps and I was talking about, man, we used Gore-Tex over there. Everyone's like, what? What is that? What was funny though? We still had the Mickey Mouse boots that they wore in Korea. The big rubber ones with the little air
Yep.
nozzle on the side.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Right. It's funny. Hell yeah. But yeah, I never liked the cold either. So even now, it gets. We had a week here in South Carolina that was like, this is a couple months ago, that was like 17 degrees or below 20 in the mornings. I was like, no. Who the hell said global warming? Where?
Yeah. Over there, just right over there.
Right.
-12 at noon where we were in Iraq. At one point, it went from I went in July and left in February, so it's freaking 1:30, and then -12 at noon, and we were coiled
It
up
gets
in
that
trucks.
cold.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And well, because we spent the summer months in the center of the country, and then we had to go to the Syrian border. Pretty much, we drove along the border a lot in the cold months. So yeah, we went way farther north in the mountains, Sinjar and all that other stuff. Yeah, and we were coiling up in the trucks. We were trying to stop caches and stuff. We ended up stopping cigarettes one time, but we were coiling up every day. We'd dig new mortar pits in the frozen ground and coil up. So we had to stand post in turrets on metal plates. And as a Floridian, I didn't realize how quickly heat gets sucks out of your feet through that metal. Because my God, numb feet hurt way worse than not having feet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man.
But I guess at that point, Ty, you should introduce yourself because we passed over that.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did. Yeah, go
hi.
ahead.
Yeah.
My name is Tyler Southern, and I was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps. I went in 2007 at the age of 17. I made it through Iraq scot-free. Afghanistan was a different story. I stepped on 10 pounds of homemade explosives 2 months to the day of deploying, and got ejected from the game. Spent 2.5 years in the hospital, both recuperating, rehabilitating, and rebuilding my arm from the elbow down. But I am a triple amputee otherwise, and now divorced father of 2. And for a long time, we're going all the way back to it. All right, so for a long time, I did everything I could to help anyone who needed that extra motivation, that extra push. And then I dove headfirst into being a father, and then amicably, but my marriage fell apart, and I didn't have that same helping people anymore, and I needed that. I needed that feeling again. Basically, I felt as though I was leaving a lot of people behind, and not sharing my gift. So the mutual friend that has been discussed, I was super glad that I met him in the first place. Joe Bachman got to be in one of his music videos, which was kind of started all of it. And introducing me to these two dudes, I'll always be grateful to him for that, because I'll echo it a third time. I don't have friends closer than these two. And I'll shoot, even if SFH crashes and burns when we move on to the next thing, they're going to be around till I die.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
So SFH, while we desperately want everyone who thinks they're suffering alone to know they aren't, the baseline of all of it ends up being the friendship that I have found through it.
Yeah, man. Well, how did you guys, when you guys met, who had the idea about, okay, let's do some merch. Let's make t-shirts or hats or whatever. How did that kind of start?
So that goes back to, that was Joe's idea. Joe had reached out to me during COVID about an idea he had.
On a walk.
I don't know if he was on a walk or where he was, but he was in the Vegas shootings as well. Went out there to go decompress and wound up leaving his wife a message that by the time you wake up in the morning, you'll hear this happened. I am okay, but they're corralling us all. We don't know what happened. They're taking our phones. So
during that shooting a few
during
years
the
ago?
Vegas, yeah. So he had his, and I guess the SFH, the still fucking here, came from a lot of people just saying, hey, I've been through this, but I'm still fucking here. And
right.
we decided I mean, Joe kind of reached out to me, and at the time, it was the original one was Joe, myself, and Ty. Then our buddy Jason came along, and then Lance has been there from the start as well, and he got roped into it whether he wanted to or not. We didn't even ask. We just said, "Here, you're part of us, and here now you're going to help me run things."
Man, since that person stabbed him in the neck, though, I really like that guy.
So, but yeah, I don't even think we asked Lance. We just kind of assumed that he was here for the ride and not here a piece of the company. And the three of us do most of the events and everything. Like I said, Jason's around, Joe is up north. But the clothing, we started with the simple SFH logo, and the black shirt, and we did some hats, and then we did some hoodies, and sponsored a music festival, and did some sunglasses and the bracelets that everybody loves. We have the SFH bracelets still fucking here. And we were started giving them to people to let them know that they're not alone.
That was the main thing, was how can we tell as many people as humanly possible that not only are they not alone, but we're all on the same team. And if you need support, we got you. So we ultimately started making something that would help distinguish you in the crowd of people. So it's like, oh, they got the EKG on their shirt. Like, they'll get it. I'm gonna go talk to that person. Clothing was kind of from the beginning. That was when he started spitting SFH from the get-go. It was about clothing and spreading the message of, you're definitely not doing this alone, and we are proud of how far you've come and how hard you fought.
Yeah.
And then from there, we've gone to, the EKG and the logo is actually tied. I guess you can kind of see ties, but the EKG is a broken EKG. It's stopped many times, but it keeps beating. That's Ty. The logo is distressed and tattered and beaten, but still here.
Right. Yeah, I love it.
That's our supermodel Ty. And then from there,
he's a good-looking dude.
We did a strong woman shirt, our version of a Rosie the Riveter, but a modernized one of those. And
heavily tattooed.
I have a wife and a daughter, and young girls today are constantly being told they're not good enough, and with the world the way it is. So we have the I Am Woman shirt that says, I am enough, I am strong, I am brave, I am everything I want to be. We've got the heart shirt, which is our designer Barnaby, when we started this process, designed this heart and put it aside for us.
Oh yeah.
And we were ready for the next thing.
That was a cool one.
I made this for you guys the day that I saw Tyler. And again, all these things are up on the website. I'm not here to try to sell a single shirt.
No, that's, we should promote it. That's
but again, but once people find us, you can't help but gravitate towards us.
I was gonna say, if you'll be able to find one of the designs you absolutely love. Like we got, some might not hit home, but you're gonna find one. We got a real cool array of shirts, I think.
And if you haven't yet, you will eventually, because that is the goal, is to have a design that reaches out to anyone that has survived whatever fight they've been through. So we'll definitely get there.
I was saying, alive out of spite.
Alive, right there.
I was going to say, I'm looking at your website right now. I'm actually going to share it if you guys don't mind.
Come on.
Please share the
screen.
We are SFH.com.
I don't know if you're able to. If you want to share the video to the viewers too, you're more than welcome to do that as well.
I can share whatever, man. I'm actually a little bit computer savvy since I started these channels. I'm like, okay, I got this stuff, editing and
because Ty loves that video.
I love watching myself talk. It's my favorite thing ever.
Right.
Said no one ever.
Said every Marine. Like, you ever see those memes? You ever see those memes?
Yeah.
They're like this anime character that's like really straining, and he's like, and it says a Marine going 10 minutes without telling somebody they're Marine.
It goes the same with vegans too. Is the first thing that comes to mind with something like that. Be like,
right?
Yeah. How can you tell a vegan? You're like, don't worry, they'll tell you.
It's hilarious.
Ty still does his Marine Corps cadences around the kitchen island while he's cooking.
Yeah, there you go.
And I pull out the ones you're not supposed to do in officer country as well, especially with Bryan not being military. He was losing it. That was good. That was a good time.
My stepfather was first platoon Marines in Vietnam. You know, I told you I have the vinyl Marine Corps album.
Oh shit, nice.
I know you ain't heard. I wish all the ladies
Sung
though.
him to sleep.
When my kids come over, they're all in their 20s now, but when they come over, I always joke with them. I'm like, get online, because when they were little, my wife and I had 5 and 7 years, so they're all close together, and I would come home from work at like 3:30 in the afternoon. I worked in a factory up in Northeast Ohio. I would come home and my wife's like, you know, baby on the hip. She's holding toddler's hand. She's yelling at the other ones and nobody will listen to her. And I shut the TV off and I'm like, get online. And I had, you know, between the carpet and the linoleum in the kitchen, that was the line. So I joke at them now. I'm like, get online. They're like, shut up, Dad.
None of your business anymore, man.
My 3 boys, well, 2 of my boys are 6'1" and 320 pounds. They're like, they look like my bodyguards when we go out somewhere. So they're like, shut up, I'll crush you.
I will break you.
I got one of those sons too. He's the Planet Fitness, pick things up and put them down, kid.
Nice.
But I'm the youngest of 3 boys, and I'm the runt by a little, by a lot, and not because of my height.
Gotcha. Now, this is your guys' website. Is this who you guys were talking about?
The one Joe Bachman's the dead center fella there.
Right, yeah.
Jason Sellen is the fellow on the far right.
Gotcha.
But there's the heart T-shirt you see right there.
Yeah, Lance is wearing it in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's his.
That looks badass, dude.
That's his highly skilled service dog.
That's the skilled one.
That's the graduate.
Well, this is what you just said a minute ago, Ty, and Alive Out of Spite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this is cool, man. I like the website. Good picture too, and background.
Right.
Hell yeah, it is.
I think on the main page is Tyler's video that he loves so much, but it pretty much describes who we are. If you go back to the,
and we do ship internationally.
SFH, Still Fucking Here, is a clothing and apparel brand built to change the world. We are survivors, warriors, and fighters. We are tenacious, relentless, and vigilant. We've been through hell and made it out the other side, and now we are determined to spend our lives giving back to those who need help in their fight. Whether you are a cancer survivor, recovering addict, a survivor of an abusive relationship, someone who has fought to gain control of their health, or a wounded vet such as myself, or simply someone that is fighting a battle and proud of how far you've come, we are with you. 50% of all net proceeds from our brand will be given back to those that need it most, and this will be for the life of our company. Join us in our mission. Buy some awesome gear like this, wear it proudly, spread the word. We are in this together. We are still fucking here. I end up feeling a need, like I feel like I'm...
it's out there.
I like your ninja move at the end.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Everybody loves that move. It's awesome.
Have you? That's the most revolting part of the whole thing. I wish they would have cut that off there. But have you seen Meet the Parents?
The movie, yeah.
Yeah. So back when they did gag reels, or like the funnies at the end. Yeah, Meet the Parents, when De Niro was watching Stiller talking to the freaking spy cams, and couple, you know, can you deal with that? That was what I did at the end of the thing.
Nice.
And I felt like an idiot. So
yeah, there was no way that was ever getting cut out.
It actually makes a video, man. Honestly, I love it.
Yeah,
because I was watching. I actually watched some of your podcasts and listened to the first episode earlier today while I was driving around, and I saw you were doing that kind of ninja stuff here and there. You know, I thought it was cool. Oh yeah, okay. So you guys got a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I'm computer savvy. I don't know what the hell a tab is up here. Okay, don't worry about it. I'm getting there.
That's okay. Well,
I'm just glad you
I'm
don't have specific tabs up.
I'm probably older than you, so I mean,
Yeah, I'm 53, so
I'm 56. I'm the old guy in the group usually.
right.
So
So you guys got a bunch of stuff. Okay.
we're trying. We got a meeting next week to expand some things, add some colors in, bring in some different things. But
Yeah, at least put one orange T-shirt on there for Ty's dad. Okay.
yeah. So that bracelet
Make it
right there that
special.
you see, we never sold them until I guess a month ago
Yeah,
when
like 10
someone
minutes ago.
reached out and said, I need these. Ours broke. I need to be able to give them to people.
Yeah.
And I said, usually we give them at events, we don't have one coming up for a while. So we just, there's the cost of the bracelet. I mean, some people are paying more for shipping than the bracelets and they're buying them by the half a dozen.
Yeah.
Because it means a lot. We have a friend down in the Orlando area that went in for a surgical procedure. And when he came out, they cut the wrong bracelet off, not the hospital bracelet. His wife reached out in a panic. Lance, I think, overnighted them.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I mean, people become attached to this. You're not alone with this.
Right.
And
That
that
is
and
a
that
reminder.
exactly, and just a reminder. And the thing is that's what we want to get across. Like I said, I've been in that dark hole, and the biggest thing that not just veterans, but anyone that gets into that type of mental trauma or darkness, you think that the only one that can understand you is you, and you seclude yourself from all the people that actually love you and that can care for you, that can help you heal. And that's what we're trying to get people: get out of that darkness, come out, and there's people that can help you heal. And that's what Still Fucking Here is trying to do.
Or they'll hit you with the comparison crap, and it'll just be like, oh, I was only beat my whole youth. I have nothing to compare to this wildly broken Marine. Like, and I'm just like, yeah, no, different stories equal different struggles, different trauma. Like,
Right.
it's yours, and own it. And your beautiful bald head makes me smile every time.
God, I so don't like
The
you.
beautiful baldness.
No, you don't. No, I know you don't like me.
You love
Yeah,
me.
one of the guys, this happens to me as well. And when people find out my story or how I started or whatever,
That's
and then-
terrifying.
yeah, it is. Yeah, because I'm thinking, okay, I broke some bones. I had, I got scratches and scrapes and stitches and, whatever. I fell off a truck. I fell off the Connex box on the back of a LVS.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So it
in
much
Okinawa
taller.
at Naha Port. Okay. I fell, and those LVSs are pretty high. And
That
I
sounds
was
a
on
bit
top
uncomfortable, by the way.
getting, what's that?
That sounds a bit uncomfortable. I wouldn't advise that.
It was
at
a
all.
little, I'm telling you what I did. Okay. So, they have this spare tire in between the cab and the back. Okay. Where it pivots.
Mhm.
So these tires are huge. They weigh like 500 something pounds. Okay. So I'm on top of the Connex backs. I'm going to jump down on this tire. Yeah, it's no problem. Instead of like turning around and kind of shimmying down, right? Yeah, I'll just jump. I'm at, what?
Harder, not
I'm good.
smarter. Ooh, wow.
I'm good.
Oh, sorry.
So, boing! It's like a trampoline, bro. I went flying in the air, landed on my face. My left eyebrow was totally gone. It was fun. I broke my arm, but anyway. So I'm thinking, okay, injuries. Yeah, big deal. Whatever. In the back of my mind, just going through life, I never expected something like that. Because I didn't have anyone close to me that's paralyzed. Not recently. I mean, some buddies in high school.
Yeah.
But it's not something you think about all the time. And then I certainly didn't think, I never even heard of this stuff. I mean, I heard of MS, and it's in kind of the same family. At least it has the same effect on your body or whatever. It's demyelinating, so it tears down the myelin sheath. So your brain works fine, all the signals are fine, your muscles work fine. It's not getting the signal. So yeah, it was terrifying, man. I was like, oh shit, this is it. I'm gonna lay here, and now I won't even be able to tell them, just put my face in a puddle of water for 5 minutes, okay? just and walk away, because I didn't want to be remembered like that for my kids. But yeah, so when I tell people, and then they're on here, and then they talk about their stuff, they always kind of pre-qualify it or qualify, you know, like, well, it's not as bad as yours. I'm like, don't say that. Just tell your story. You know?
Yeah, I'm just saying. We're not collecting hardships over here. I don't want to have been through everything that everyone else has. Like,
for real.
I got my own stuff to deal with, man.
Yep.
I think that's all in how you're raised, though, too. You know, your parents say, I mean, you know, you're walking as a kid in the park in a wheelchair, and your parents are saying, you could always have it so much worse. You know, you have shoes, you have food, you know, you had a piece of cheese today. Shut up and look at them over there.
Yeah.
That is so
Shut
true,
up,
man.
kid.
Shut up, kid. There's children starving in China. They used to say.
You don't even know.
Yeah.
I think my generation was Ethiopia, but yes.
Ethiopia,
Yeah,
right.
Africa,
I forgot about
Africa.
that.
It was always the starving kids in Africa, but I'm like,
Yes.
they got the rains were blessed at least.
Yes, they were.
I said something once to my stepfather. And again, I was a stupid teenager, and he would go on my case for something. And I looked at him, I said, if they were really hungry, they'd eat the flies buzzing around on them. That is all I remember.
I like
Okay.
There
That is
wasn't
true,
much.
though.
That's solid, honestly.
There
that.
wasn't
Was
mean,
pretty
much.
solid.
There wasn't
That
much
is
after that.
true. Okay.
Flies are
Bear
good
Grylls,
solid.
Bear Grylls proved it. All right. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Insects are mostly protein.
Absolutely. Crickets are delicious.
I mean,
Yeah.
yuck, but whatever.
I think it was pretty much lights out after that for a while.
To each their own. Oh no, yeah, no. I accidentally called my dad a douche, or him and my mother a douchebag to their face, and yeah, I don't remember the next few minutes very well. It was one of those like, just
It only happened once, huh?
It was a leap then look situation for sure. Upon further inspection, and it took a day and a half the second time he got on me was when I used context clues to figure out what probably happened. But it was when I was trying to join and they wouldn't sign everything. I was 17. I told them, you know, if I have to wait till I'm 18, I'll sign up still and you'll never see me again. I was like, I don't know why y'all are being such douchebags about this, is apparently what I said. But yeah, no, he got me even with his shoulders, and then I was on the concretia, and then I had a knee in my throat, and then like an 80-pound neighbor was like, "Hey Lee, get off him." And I was just like, I have no idea how I got on the ground or why I'm here. And mom got him off me and was like, go to your room. I have no idea what's going on either. And when he comes, tackles me on the bed, and there's you know what happened in the Marine Corps? You call EA a douchebag? And I was like, aha, I must have called him a douchebag. I was like, oh, okay. He's mad. I get it now.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was just like, yep. Oops.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good times.
I think I was 16. My dad worked, you know, day shift, whatever. He worked in a factory, and then later on in a high school. And I went off on my mom. Okay. I had mom. I'm a middle child between two sisters. So I was sitting here practicing the guitar, and my mom kept bugging me about this one thing that I was in the youth group at church, and I was kind of done with it. I was starting to rebel when I was 16. I started sneaking out drinking and sneaking out going to parties and stuff. So I was like, you know, once I went to a few parties and drank, I'm like, parents, what? You don't know shit, okay? So I had this real big chip on my shoulder, and she starts talking to me, and I threw the guitar against the wall and said, I'm not going to that effing meeting, okay? So I walked out. Yeah, my dad got home. And my mom is a little tiny Italian lady, okay? And she hates for me to tell her age, Bryan, by the way. She always gets mad when I say it, but she's older. So my dad gets home, and he's like 6 foot, big dude. His fingers look like a 5-pack of Snickers, right? They're like thick as hell. And my mom tells him, and he puts me up against the fridge, and it was just one finger in my chest, poking me as he's talking. And I remember, not because I was scared, just because I was scared, but I was like, I never thought of it this way. He goes, that's not your mom you're talking to, that's my wife. And I was like, oh shit, this dude's gonna beat my ass.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Never talk to my mom like that again, ever.
Not only did you not have the moral high ground, but you really don't have the moral high ground.
Right.
I'm I'm a double down, bitch. Like,
Oh God, no.
That's
crazy.
that was a line and realization that my father didn't teach me, but I heard it along the way where I was like, oh shit, yeah. I remember, yeah, the I hate you mom thing got me choked up against the wall one time. Yeah, talking shit about my wife. And I'm like, ooh. I was like, she was definitely your wife before she was my mother.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Like, oh no.
You've known her longer. This is true.
Uh-huh.
I will defend her ass and take you apart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're
Well, I
going
grew,
down,
I grew up
kid.
fast too. I was 12. When I was 12, I had a growth spurt. So I was, tallest kid in class, and around, I don't know, older teenager or middle teenager, I started doing. People didn't really go to gyms too much. You didn't hear about this back in the 70s, 80s.
Back when they were inventing jogging.
So,
New Balance, baby, New Balance.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you now. So
Yogging.
I did push-ups, and you know what I did? I lifted. I put all the encyclopedias my mom and dad had in duffel bags and used them as weights to curl and stuff. And I just hung out in the wood. We had a woods behind our house. I hung out there in the woods with my BB gun. But yeah, I would just go work out, and I was pretty big when I was 13, 14 years old compared to everybody else. By the time I was 15, I was growing a mustache. So I could actually buy beer at 16. The drinking age back then in Ohio was 18, not 21. So I could go in and buy beer. They thought I was 18 and nobody questioned it. It was no big deal back then. So we were good, bro. Okay. Go get a 15 pack of Strohs. When the 15 packs first came out, we were like, oh shit, this is awesome.
So many beers.
It's 3 more.
Yeah,
Okay.
This started to thin about the same point. I mean, I was working as a bouncer in a bar, I think at 17 years old. Nobody ever asked for ID back then. And, I was 21. So I think by the time I hit 21, I was done with the bar scene. I'd had enough.
That's the shit with my dad. That was when I was up at Bethesda recuperating, we'd go through Baltimore and he'd be like, oh, that used to be this. I can't believe they could build a neighborhood on top of all those condoms. That's the bar I had my first beer in. And I was like, it still exists. And I was like, when was that, Dad? And he was like, oh, 10, 11. And I was like, fucking what? They gave a 10, 11-year-old a beer? And he's like, when you ride up on a motorcycle, people don't ask questions. And I'm just like, I'd be good in the late 60s, maybe.
Well, the facial hair helps.
I was going to say, y'all are over here bragging because they were making fun of me this morning. This is the extent of the facial hair I'm capable of as a 34-year-old male. This little thing on my chin.
Hey, man.
And then I didn't look not 14 until I turned 30. Like the entire first decade of being blown to smithereens I got a lot more sympathy out of people because I looked 12. I mean, I got hurt when I was 20, but I mean, the week I turned 30, I was like, oh shit, I kind of look 30 now. Like, and then it was funny because again, right after I turned 30, it was less people were more blown away by my injuries because I looked old enough to have them now. But you were talking about not getting carded. I got carded for a rated R movie in this life in a wheelchair in a tank top. And I'm like, you don't think I'm 17?
What?
Like, I was like, even if I was born this way, I am covered in tattoos. Like, my parents aren't that cool. Like,
I didn't know they did that.
That's not much different from the shoe lady at the shoe store asking you what your shoe size was.
Punch that lady in the throat, just like the Mexican.
Somebody did that for real.
Gate guard.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and then and the Mexican gate guard,
guard.
They couldn't figure out taking my wheelchair from me. I have a 175-pound Segway wheelchair that going to Mexico was the first time flying with it, and going to Mexico was easy as hell. They took it. They treated it like a manual chair. They took it from me, put me in one of the airplane chairs, threw it under a plane, told people you'd have to drag it, like whatever. But yeah, no. They couldn't figure out kilos versus pounds. And then we're sitting there almost an hour before we're supposed to start boarding, and I'm in my personal chair at the gate and getting nervous. This woman comes up and says, could you walk from here?
Whoa.
200 at least yards down the gangway to the plane.
The most serious face you've ever seen in your life.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you think
Serious
you
as a
can walk
heart
from
attack.
here?
What?
I was like, no hablo English, lady.
Oh,
Like, the fuck?
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, she hurt my feelings on that one. I was just like,
Yeah,
man.
right.
Your parents wasted so much time. should have been thrown out. Like this is Sparta's situation. You should have been thrown off the mountain at the beginning.
Oh, that's funny. So what did they do?
What was it, like 10 minutes before we left?
Oh yeah, they finally
Like,
got
they finally got me in a manual chair and took it away. And the man who took it gave me zero confidence that it was going to end up on the right plane anyways.
And you should have saw how far they wanted him to walk.
Yeah, it was no shit 200 yards at least. It very well could have been, closer to 3. Yeah. It was like from the gate down an entire long ass gangway to the damn plane.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Lady.
No.
I'll do it to prove a point, but I'm not going to do it because you think I'm supposed to.
Viva la Mexico.
Yeah. That was funny. The whole trip went off without a hitch, and coming home ended up being the problem.
We went to Mexico. Well, when I was stationed at Pendleton, my last duty station at Edson Range. It's a small, little, tiny range in Pendleton, but not too far from Camp Delmar, if you've been there. And
29 Palms.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. 29 stumps. I had a buddy out there.
Yeah, I'd say 0 palm trees in this place.
Yeah, right. We went out there to. He's like, "Oh, come on here. We'll drink and stuff. We'll party." I'm like, "Man, there's nothing out here, bro. There's nothing out here."
But to drink. Yeah. I get it.
Mhm.
I'm glad I was never stationed there. We always had to do the CACs, the combined arms exercise thing.
Yeah.
Because I was only in 3 years. I served a 3-year sentence on Lejeune.
Yeah.
But so 2 different CACs, had to go to 29 Palms twice. The 1-2, the unit I was in, we used to call it the 1-2 cloud because wherever we went, fucking chaos and turmoil seemed to follow. And in CACs, it rained the worst it rained in 125 years.
What?
To the point that the last 2 Connex boxes down that huge hill on Camp Wilson were underwater, like not flooded to where no one could be in them, underwater.
Wow.
And they left a 7-ton at the bottom of the hill.
Oh shit.
So they got it back like almost a month later whenever they could get to it.
That's crazy, bro.
But yeah, good times. That's my California experience as far as the military goes. Twisting ankles on all of those ranges. Because what's gravel, right? It has to be giant fucking boulders.
For sure.
Doc had to do a lot of work out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Lance, is that what you were Navy?
Yes.
Right.
I was corpsman.
Greenside.
Yep. Pretty much with the Marine Corps my whole career, and then went IDC, so and stay with the Marine side. So
Nice.
And you got through boot camp, right?
yes.
So you're Marine first, and then they wouldn't make you a doctor, so you're like, fuck that noise, and then dropped the tur and just became doc.
No, I got hurt in
Knee.
SOI. Yes, knee.
There we go. Sorry, I was gonna say I couldn't remember if it was right at the end of boot camp or if it was in SOI.
In SOI.
Because I was like, you absolutely were a Marine. Okay.
And then as a corpsman, the first place they decided to send me is Camp Geiger.
Oh yeah, that's where I went to MCT. Mhm.
And I'm like, now I am the corpsman for all of these. Yeah, yay.
All right, so MCT Bryan is
Here we go, Bryan.
is I wish I was in the infantry. Basically is
Well, we don't have a choice to go. Okay, it's required. I don't know if it still is, but back then
it's Marine
89
combat
it was.
training. Yeah, if you're not a grunt, you have to go to MCT so that you know the weapons. So it's like 21 days in the field or something where they let you play with all the toys / make you play with all of them. And then you go off to do your regular job school and go be whatever you were going to be. And then all of us have to go to ITB or the School of Infantry and figure out the ins and outs of all that bullshit. But yeah, so I appreciate his take on it because there's a lot of guys that think MCT was something hard. Just like, oh, shut up. Like, I don't want to
No, it was
squash
fun,
your
dude. It
dreams
was fun.
today. Yeah, it was a good time. It was camping and
we're all-
shooting guns.
Yeah, I mean that's what we went in for. That was like the best thing. And you always had this one corporal that was kind of like almost like a shitbird, but not quite. And he was always, the one in charge of us. And he's like, "All right, you're gonna do this today." Like, okay, dude,
Pull back real hard. Then go trigger.
right?
Thump, thump, thump.
Yeah, we had the Mark 19.
Die fuzzy
Got to
bunny.
shoot
Die.
that. The AT4. Was what I actually qualified in boot camp with the 1911. And when I came back from when I came back from overseas, yeah, I know. When I came back
He
from
said
overseas,
90, bro.
I had to. I got corporal. Okay, so I went through the gauntlet, earned a blood stripe, do all this stuff. Okay, got my chevrons pinned on, and then I had to go through a combat pistol course with the new Beretta. Okay, that they switched over to. So I had to requalify with that. But I didn't last as a corporal. We had a company party on the beach. Was so wasted I blacked out. Me and my buddy ended up out in town. We stole a truck, joyrided around, got picked up, spent the weekend in San Diego jail, got charged with Grand Theft Auto, and I thought I was done. I remember the morning after that Saturday morning, I had a phone call, or I was able to make a phone call. I called my parents. I'm telling my dad, and he's like, "What the hell did you do now, Eric?" And I was like, "Well, I'm in jail. Stole a car, but we didn't know we did it because we were drunk, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Take your medicine like a big boy, click."
Oh.
It's like,
Take it on the chin.
shit. But it got knocked down, got to a misdemeanor. And they said, because you're exemplary military service, and because the guy that we stole the truck from was a Marine Corps vet and Vietnam vet, and we took it. It was a pickup truck. We drove around and we brought it back. That's what we were like. Oh shit, we stole a truck.
Yeah,
We need to
this
take it
isn't
back.
any of our vehicles.
We took it back. We were driving around Oceanside, and, took it back by the bar, and police were there and caught us. Duh. So yeah. Anyway, but I
It's
lasted
not
as a
stealing
corporal
if we
for
bring
like
it back, right?
a month or something. But yeah, I had to requalify with the was it M92 or
So
M9 or something.
there's a lot of twists and turns and ups and downs in that story that you just told. And
Mhm.
starting with the 1911, because like, was Chesty a dick in real life?
Oh,
I'm
You
curious.
see my gray hairs right here? Look.
Yes.
Look, okay.
Like, was Johnny Basilone everything we're told he was? No, but Oceanside threw
Oh,
me
yeah.
off, threw me for a loop too.
Right.
Son of a bitch.
I was like,
So
did you
I
miss
ended up,
90 earlier?
huh?
Yeah. So
Did
I
you miss when
graduated
he
high
said
school.
90 earlier?
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah,
In
yeah.
1989, I went in October of '89. So yeah,
Yeah.
got out in
I,
'93.
I was 2 months old.
Right.
But the oh fuck, I had it again and I lost it again.
Well, did you spend some time in Oceanside?
I did. No, I stories. Fella whose wife took him for everything and tried to pull the plug on him a couple times. He met her in Oceanside, driving her freshly minted ex-husband's truck, and I was just like, bro, she was made of red flags. What's wrong with you?
We don't always
Oh,
see red
Corporal.
flags.
That was what it was. Corporal. The fucking
No. Tyler sees other red flags quite well. He doesn't see his own red flags.
Dude, I'm the king of giving excellent advice that I don't listen to.
Yeah.
We've met Bryan.
I mean, the three of us are not different.
I've also, but
I
I've
was gonna say,
also,
I'm the same way.
I've learned my lessons. Damn it, y'all! I'm gonna say the corporal thing before I forget again.
Sorry.
You were talking about being a corporal for 5 minutes. It ended up costing me the legs and the arm to make corporal.
Oh shit.
Because I was I was a 3-year corporal, which is, I mean, at the time was pretty quick, but
Yeah.
I had
Yeah,
a
it is.
non-recommendation from like November, and got hit in May, and he lifted the non-rec because I got injured, and then I picked up June 1st. So like I literally had to get a Purple Heart for him to lift the non-rec. And the non-rec was literally nothing more than like he was a dick. I didn't even have anything on paper that he would have had a solid reason for one of those, but he's a gunny and he can do that.
Yeah. Right.
He friend requests me every once in a while on the interwebs. I'm just like, I'm so okay, I promise.
That's funny.
He says, I giggle, then move forward.
Yeah. Teehee. Okay.
So, Lance, you actually went into the Marine Corps?
In 97.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then I went in the Navy in 2000. I, like I said, very short time in the Marine Corps.
Because of the injury.
Yeah,
Okay.
the 3 mile, that you have to run when you get to SOI. I blew out my knee on that 3 mile.
At least it was at the beginning.
Yeah,
Like like that would really suck if it was like one of the final training evolutions, and
Right.
then you were going to still be getting out and medically separated because
yeah.
fuck. Like
Right.
there's a bunch of just dumb shit at SOI that you missed out. Thank God. Like you didn't miss out on. Like,
So, oh yeah, and I mean, and then no fathoming going back at the time, and I started my attempt to going to pre-med and in hopes to go into med school, and realized how expensive that could get. I was working 12-hour shifts in cardio, and then working the bus, the ambulance every other weekend, and then going to class during the day. So it got old fast.
I'm
Yeah.
tired
So-
thinking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it got
right.
old fast. And then in 2000, believe it or not, a friend of my sister that my sister went to school with was a Navy recruiter, and told me that they could help me out with all those student loans and stuff like that. And I told them, well, can you at least guarantee me medicine? And they did. And the rest is kind of history. I came in as a corpsman, but they came in a program that they no longer use called a GenDet program. So I went in undesignated for 15 months before I went to Corps school. So I went to the
Risky.
ship for 15 months. I ended up being there for 13 months. So anything with the GenDet program, anything over 18 months, it would have been a breach of contract and I could have got out. So, but went to Corps school, and straight out of Corps school, I pretty much spent the majority of my time with the Marines, either at places like SOI or deployed with different units, and ended up doing 7 combat deployments, and got the luxury of getting my bell rung hard enough to get a decent TBI. And
Decent TV.
decent TBI.
I'm over here excited you're getting through this story so well.
Oh, thanks. And so TBI, chronic PTS, and like I said, through the whole thing, once I got out, I was in a pretty dark place. Made some bad decisions. Made some good decisions later. That's why I'm still fucking here.
Whoop.
But that first 2 years was a freaking roller coaster. After that, I actually got off of half of the medications that was making me feel like a zombie, and started working with medicinal cannabis. That helped a lot. It didn't help certain things that were going on with my body, with my PTS and everything. I was given the opportunity to get a shot called the SGB shot, stellate ganglion block, and it's a shot in the neck that pretty much the theory behind it is to put to sleep the fight or flight mechanism, so when it wakes up, it's not as irritated.
Hard reboot.
Yep.
Yeah.
I slept for 18 hours. I hadn't done that for years. I hadn't slept more than 4 hours for years. Let me be honest.
Wow.
Yeah. So sleep was not something I did for a very long time. But I slept and I woke up, and I'd say probably within a week, I started feeling like, okay, yeah, it's still, my PTS and everything's still there, but I'm in control of it. It's not controlling me. It's not controlling my everyday life and everything like that.
Far
Yeah,
less
always
quick
in
to
reaction
anger.
mode. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then since then, I've gotten off even more of my VA meds, which is freaking phenomenal. The goal is to hope to get off all of them if possible, but we'll see.
Right.
But with that being said, a lot of people get this shot that I received, and it doesn't last very long, or it's not successful on the first time. The reason why I bring that up is, no matter what type of trauma you've been through, there is an answer out there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Never stop looking, never stop fighting to find that answer, because there is an answer out there for you. It took, believe me, I did some pretty crazy. I had literal lasers in my freaking brain. Come on, that was one of the treatments that they tried on me. So, like when you're in that type of situation and you want to be out of it,
Yeah.
you'll find a way out.
Oh yeah, you're
And,
desperate.
and
Like,
that's what we're here for. Is hey,
mhm.
you want to find a way out? We are here to help you
Right.
because we get it. We figured it out.
Hmm. Why medicine? Why'd you choose medicine? What got you into that?
Um,
I was gonna say in Alabama, it
medical
was
field.
either make it unprofessionally or go somewhere else and do it professionally. So I mean,
there you go.
No, I mean,
There you
why'd you choose the medical field?
So I had a thing with medicine pretty much since I can remember, honestly, and always wanted to do something in the medical field. And I mean, as a sophomore in high school, I was already riding the truck as an intern. By my junior year, I was actually riding the truck as a basic EMT. My senior year, I was actually riding the truck as an EMT because I was only going because that last year of high school, depending on how many classes you have left, you have more time. So, and I just enjoyed uh, being able to help others, and at the end of the day, that's the same reason why we're doing what we're doing. Is I just feel I enjoy the passion of being able to help others. I don't want a dime from you. I don't I as Tyler will tell people all the time, I don't want your sympathy. I
Right.
want you to see me as a human being because I'm here. And yeah, I survived through shit, but that's not all that I am.
I would
And
say we're addicted to serving.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
and
we
you
can't serve our
become
country anymore, so we're serving well the way we did. Now we're serving our country's people in a different way, doing our best to get everyone we can get.
another reason why it's not just about veterans, it's about everybody because the
Sure.
human race as a whole has to come together and figure out what the hell is going on with our mental health.
And it's crazy to watch behind these two guys because I love to stand behind them and watch them interact with people. I mean, Ty does it with his energy and the smile and the chair. He buzzes around people. I mean, the Irreverent Warriors thing. He just brings people together, and you can't
Pace
help
car.
but smile when you're with Ty. You can't. I tell the story, and the first time my mother met Ty, and she had seen videos, and she goes, "When I meet him, I'm going to cry." And I said, "You cry, you're out of here.
I'll be right back.
You're gone because we're not about that." And within 4 minutes, she came over and she goes, "Oh my God, I get it. I understand. There's no reason to cry."
Yeah.
And Lance he's stepped away, but he's a little more subdued in the way he does it. But Lance's goal is to help one person every day. That if Lance can help point one person in the right direction every day, he doesn't need to do anything else. And for me, that's the best part of this. I mean, I'm the guy that was supposed to be in the background of this whole thing. This face was never supposed to be on the website, on TV. I was the guy in the back.
That up, Tyler.
We dragged him kicking and
Dragged it,
screaming
get
into
it
the limelight. Like, you
Gun
will be
pointed to
famous.
All
his
right,
head.
so the nice two things I just said about those guys, we can just edit that right out, right?
Yeah, just cut that. Okay.
Both
We're gonna strike it. We're gonna strike it.
Well, no, and talking about that SGB shot and how, because again, he compared to me, most people seem muted, but but yeah, of the two of us, I'm a firecracker, and he gives you very chill and not monotone, but very chill. And but we would never have gotten here as friends or partners or anything because without that shot, because like I wasn't there for the almost fight situation. It was much quicker to anger back then. But the couple of events that I saw him at, he was just the quiet dude in the corner with the dog between his legs, and got a grunt and a nod and a and whatnot out of him for the first 2 or 3 times I saw him. And was just kind of, an acquaintance. He's a friend of my people. Like, so he's my people. But yeah, after the shot, whole different dude. Holy shit. Hell, the Sonata on the way to Atlanta. Some kid picked us one day. We were taking a road trip to get the dog. I got a dog about 2 months ago. And I wrote people who drive with me. This is where the happy-go-lucky boy turns off, and I'm my father with the foul mouth sailor, and I will run people off the road because I have road rage in a way that is
Oh, that's
clinical
awesome.
and not okay.
Not awesome.
Yeah. And no, I only let the intrusive thoughts win once. I'm sorry, Bryan. He'll never let me live that down. Anyway,
Didn't say a thing. I just
you were thinking it hard enough. I saw it.
The wrinkles in your forehead.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Say
that's
I read
funny.
them. I read the braille across your forehead. No, yeah. This child in a Sonata decided that he wanted to fuck with us only. Like every time I tried to get around him, he'd floor it. Anytime I got back in front, had to get back behind him, he'd slow down enough that we had to too.
Oh my God.
And we were both just like, look at this.
I couldn't handle it. Yeah.
No, and it was the weirdest thing ever because I didn't even get frustrated.
Really?
We're just both sitting there giggling about
Like,
it.
what's
We were
wrong with
making
this
good
idiot?
time. He wasn't
Right?
making us go too slow.
No.
Like I just wanted to go faster.
Yeah.
I think we were still technically speeding.
But we finally got to see Karma in action. So
It
that
was the
awesome.
best. Because yeah, we came over an overpass in Georgia where they like to hang out. There was a cop in position and immediately chirp chirp, and we're just
Boom.
and so me and Sonata are getting over, slowing down because I know I'll pull over quick if I know they're pulling out for me because that's just something added. Like I fucked up, you caught me. Okay, like I'll
Yep.
take it on the chin. Where would I earn? But he scooted right past us and got behind the Sonata, and I was just like.
Nice.
We pulled out and had gotten slow enough that we had enough time to roll down all the windows and just as we drove fast.
No, that's funny.
And the woman that we assume is his girl was getting mad as shit the whole
Yeah,
time.
she was. It was
Anyways, we
hilarious.
kept seeing her just the whole time in the rear windshield. And then they get pulled over. I'm like, yep, they're probably not dating anymore.
Right.
I was like,
Oh, that's
karma
funny.
served. I didn't have to get mad, and we
Poetic
ended up.
justice. Yeah.
We got there an hour early, anyways.
Yep.
So, like, we got where we were going in ample time, so it worked out. But yeah, that was a big to him get so mad at someone for no fucking reason in a bar, to this dude actively fucking with us.
There was reason.
Oh, there was a there was a reason, Ty, for me to get
But
up
no, I know what you're saying.
and go over to a complete stranger.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, but it's weird. So he slept for 18 hours. I've texted him with Amber, his wife, to check on him. She goes, he's sleeping. I'm scared. You know, he hasn't slept. And then I guess that's Tuesday. He passes out. Wednesday goes by. Thursday he calls me and goes, hey, buddy. And I got to
Boy,
look
howdy.
I got to look at the name on the phone to see who this happy person is on the other line. And that was the start of the rebirth of Lance and the guy you see in front of you. And I mean, I'll tell you that every day for the first 8 weeks, I said, how are you today? How are you today?
Is it wearing off?
Do not ask that. I haven't asked that question in a year and a half. It's just, what's going on? What are you up to today?
Right.
But no, I mean, we've, every Friday morning we have a weekly conference call and discuss things. And the three of us together are just so much fun. And then Jason's around, he's an added bonus as well, because he makes us laugh. And we're just trying to make, I guess, a sense of community, right? That's the word that we keep going
That's the
back
goal.
to.
The goal is to make a true community that is looking out for each other's back and there to help each other when they're falling. And that's pretty much what we want to do.
Oh man, I mean, there's been a bunch already that are prime examples of y'all stopped me from getting arrested in Mexico and stopped you from drowning in Mexico, and there was a whole bunch of stuff that, like, we're just like, no one was like, yeah, somebody. Well, no, it almost wasn't, because I almost killed that dude. But everyone was just like, get in front of Tyler right now. Like,
you guys should
make
just
sure he
stay out of
can't get his
Mexico.
wheelchair around you right now, because if he gets past you, he's fucking gone.
I don't think the chair is. We're gonna drive for now on for a little bit, because the chair didn't do too well in Mexico.
I finally have a spare though. That's all. That's fucking amazing.
Right.
Got a flying one and a stay in here one.
There you go.
So, but Ty, I'll tell you, the best thing about all of this now is, I mean, we're in our third year, right?
Number 3.
And out of nowhere, somebody not affiliated with us, not from Florida, not from the East Coast, we'll get a picture of somebody wearing one of our shirts in Washington State or the Bahamas or a bracelet. We call it SFH in the wild.
Yeah. I've gotten you a few from Cali, from Cali and Canada
nothing
too.
makes me happier in life to go, how the fuck did they find out about us in Kalamazoo, Michigan?
Right.
Or, Idaho, or now we got a couple of friends in Canada, and we sent some shirts to England, and there's a guy in the Bahamas.
Australia too.
You walk
Australia.
but you walk into this the Gone Fishing Bar in the Nassau Bahamas. Our shirt is in the rafters.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Our koozies on the end of his bar, and I'm going, this is 3 years old, baby.
We got the opportunity to film a music video out there with one of our ambassador musicians, Jet Huffman. So
we need to get the stickers made again with the logo sized properly and the website on it. And just every time we travel anywhere, bring a stack and start sticking them in freaking places and taking pictures. Because hell, if you can get them done by freaking Cincinnati, we'll fuck up gas stations along the way.
Brian, what just happened?
Which part?
I'm just trying to figure out how much bail money I need.
Bail money.
Our trip.
It's not illegal to put stickers on things, I don't think.
I don't think.
You can't put a sticker on like a cop car.
I mean, we're not going to go put them on mailboxes.
I'll pay for that one, Ty.
Well, plus also, I mean, again, I can pull up to things and
Ty
then
can probably
do a thing and then
cops
get away
let him
from
do
it pretty quickly.
All right. Whatever you
It'll
want.
look like I'm doing. It'll make it look like I'm peeing on the wall before anything else. So.
Whatever you want, you got, sir.
Yeah,
No, that'd be good to have those people on that are posting like pictures of your gear, wearing your stuff.
Yeah,
have them on your have them as a guest on your podcast. Ask them why they got your stuff.
We're trying that.
We're
definitely.
It's funny how wrangling guests is much harder than anyone anticipated. When we started this thing, we had a very overzealous view of how easily it would be to get guests.
Yeah.
It's
I'm there with you.
for people to open up and tell their story. The podcast is basically mental health based,
and we get down into it.
Right.
It's a great conversation to watch. Ty and Zach. I mean, Lance and I haven't quite joined in yet. We will eventually, but they get so open and everything, and it's tough to be that open. And I mean, like, Ty, I tell my story a little bit, what happened and all that stuff, but these guys are open books.
You asked me to tell my story about 3 years ago. I would have told you to go kick rocks.
You did.
You
but then
did.
you guys were asked to do public speaking now because of how motivating you are, and you need to share your story if you're going to be on stage to talk to people. So yeah, I've got these guys out there now doing motivational speaking, need be, because I mean, who doesn't want to listen to what they've been through and realize that if they can get through a day in their life, who can't?
Yeah.
I mean, if you fucking can't, then something is wrong.
I was gonna say, man, I got my brain is not what it's supposed to be, apparently, because like people today are wanting excuses to to not live it up to the fullest and to get sympathy and to like hold back. Like I can't do X, Y, and Z because I've got ADD. I have all 80 of the HDs. Like all these labels what people want to give themselves. And then it's all so that they can literally everyone feel bad for me, please. I'd like everyone to change their pictures to thoughts and prayers for me and my ADD and what it does to me. And then no, the whole victim mentality of everything going on everywhere is insane to me, because I wouldn't mind if I could get through a crowd and people not immediately know what I did for a living.
Right.
The opening guess is usually the correct one. Yeah. You got the people who need to put banners on of I'm broken, my brain doesn't work right, or whatever it is, and I'm just like, man, put it all down, be a victor instead. Fucking crush it in spite of.
Yeah,
baby. Alive out of spite.
Yeah, well, we're not made that way anyway. We're made with sound mind and body, so that's the way we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be scatterbrained and confused. You know, that's a lot of bad programming we've had.
Yeah, the
for a lot
younger
of years.
generation seems to be very scatterbrained and confused.
Yeah, and well, that's the enemy's plan. So
I was gonna say
I
that,
couldn't be a
and
parent of a young kid today and let them
Yeah.
go to school. Thank God my son is 35 and my daughter's 26. Because if I had kids in school today, I'd be in jail. I wouldn't tolerate I wouldn't tolerate anything these schools are doing today, or
Yeah.
I just wouldn't.
Well, that's why there's guys like us. Okay, when I'm talking with you guys, and I talk with a lot of these other guys, we're called to do what we're doing for those people. That generation that's like in their 20s right now, they that maybe didn't have or don't have good parenting. You know, they didn't have good parenting. Maybe it was not like a hard childhood, like most of the guys I grew up with, you know, or like you guys or whatever. Like maybe not that way, but it was too soft, and that can ruin a child as well. So
there was
there's
I mean,
a
there was
balance.
a gaggle / a big portion of the last generation that, needed, because, the latchkey kids and, only parents put hands on me. There was a whole
Yeah.
group of the last generation that needed to be their kid's best friend from the get.
Yep.
And your best friend can't tell you no too
That's
many
right.
times in a row or whatever else. And I'm just like, no, if you do it right, you get to be their friend in their 20s.
Yeah.
Like when they're grown,
go.
you get to be their friend if you do a good job.
Yeah.
Like,
I read this book a long time ago. It said familiarity breeds contentment, and that goes across. That's just human beings across the board, and that goes from children to their parents, parents to their boss, employees to their boss, military. This is why you have strict restrictions in the military, where
you're not supposed to know your leader
fraternization or whatever. Yeah, you don't go. You're not going to go hang out and drink with your commanding officer, and you shouldn't, because the more you know about him, the more familiar you are with him, you're going to know his weaknesses. You're going to know, oh, he's a real person. And then he tells you to go do something, you're not going to listen. So that's just like a human thing. We start judging as soon as we think we know something about somebody. And I think a lot of these parents, they did a disservice to their kids by getting a little too friendly with them. Like, oh, I'm their friend. Like you said, until like when they're younger. Like you can do that when they're an adult and they're independent and they've learned all these things. But it's a balance.
I mean,
that's what we're here for, man, to
you gotta be all
help
the
fill in the
things.
gap.
Teacher, warden, executioner. You can be friends
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
my son and
absolutely. There's a
my
balance.
son and I didn't get along for years. There were years that we didn't speak, but now at 35, he's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And they look so similar.
But you had to be
Related
a parent,
AF.
but you had to be a parent. You had to use discipline, and I don't.
Sure.
I mean, did he need to get hit in the head with a 2x4 that Tuesday? Probably.
He earned it either way.
I mean, okay, it's
just.
I know your kid.
Yeah, but he'll tell you everything that he got. And the kids weren't beaten, but everything that was done, he needed to be where he's at today, and he's grateful.
Oh no, yeah, I've been
that's
choked and
good.
slammed into the wall. We talked about all that, but I didn't not earn everything I received from my father.
That's right.
I'm not a battered child by
No.
any stretch of the imagination.
We deserved it.
Everything
agree.
that
Yep.
every time hands got put on me, I earned it.
100%.
Oh yeah.
buddy.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And you got to wear what you earn. It's not, again, back to the victim shit. Be like, oh my God, my dad hit me. And I'm like, why?
Why?
And that you
Exactly.
could call it victim blaming or whatever else. But I'm just like, if you came in there all stupid, like you might
Yeah.
get popped. Like if
Well, this is a big
he
issue,
just
too,
came
with-
into your room out of nowhere and started whooping on you, maybe we'll talk about it. We'll report him to somebody. But like,
I had friends like that. Their dad was a drunk.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
mean drinker.
I've seen it.
Yep. I was there when he'd come home, and I'm like, oh, time to go.
come to my house. You should come to my house.
Yeah, I did. And that's
I'll
what
hide you.
a lot of kids spent a lot of time in my parents, my house, because my parents were good. I mean, they were strict. They were really strict. And I rebelled when I was 16. I got kicked out of the house when I was 17. And I honestly, that's probably, I respected my parents for following through with that a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't like
Oh,
being
yeah.
kicked out. But
No,
when I came home
you're
that
not
night after
supposed to.
I came home drunk as shit, And my dad had a little sticky note on the front door, your stuff's in the garage. And he wasn't kidding. There was like, now this is before the plastic grocery bags is all, you know, the brown paper. There was like 50 of those bags out there, bro. I grabbed like underwear and socks and like, you know, a couple of things of stuff for school, and I went and stayed at a buddy's. But yeah, I was like, oh shit, they're serious. Okay. You
I
need
love that.
sometimes, you know?
I say I'm stuck on. I didn't realize that grocery store bags was a back in my day thing. I kind of thought those had been around for a long ass time. Like that.
Are they still using now?
I know that you get eco broed.
Not up here.
Too many-
bags,
Yeah, I was gonna
paper
say they
bags.
want a lot of stores want you to do the whole reusable thing, but Instacart is my best friend. I haven't been inside a Publix in a
Gotcha.
long time. And but the upcharge, I'm like, I'll pay the extra to not climb in and out of my vehicle 4 times.
Right.
But yeah, the whole following through thing for sure. That like, okay, you kicked out, bye. Like, yeah, it's like, oh no, I was totally kidding. And what does that teach you? Like that you can fuck around and then you're not gonna find out. Like, no, all my
Right.
like,
Yeah.
all my shit was outside and I had to go do something else. Yeah, my parents let one of us rot in jail a couple nights instead of go get us immediately that night. And he's grateful for it.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, if we got into that
Praise
point,
Lord.
then we needed it. Whatever the medicine was, we probably needed it. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's you know, and a real
Robitussin.
issue too is like a lot of 20-year-old males are, they're getting, so many of them take so long to grow up now that they're all like, oh yeah, I'm only 22. Like, what do you think? I'm not moved out yet. Like, bro, what? Like,
I
I
was
have
saying-
friends ask me like, how do we get all of our 5 kids to move out? I'm like, be mean to them.
Show
Like, make
them
it
the
hard
door.
at home.
At
Okay.
18, start paying rent or move out.
Oh yeah, they
Open the
paid
door,
for.
yeah.
They start paying it, stuff when they were 16, like a little bit at a time. We'd introduce them, teach them how to use finances. We were not great at it. We're still not great at it. But hey, when your first paycheck from your job when you're 16 is all yours. You earned it. It's a you know, go celebrate. Your next one, you're going to pay half your phone bill. Your next one, you're going to pay half your phone bill and put a little bit of gas in the car. Your next one, you're going to, you know, you just keep adding on. And it was over a few month period, they were ending up, so it was slow progression and they learned how to pay all their stuff. But, you know, a big issue now is like my youngest daughter, she's married. She's been married for almost a year and a half. She's 22. And one of my son-in-law's friends is 22, 23. He's got a baby, and him and his girlfriend were living in his friend, like with his buddy. Okay. It was like the bro pad or whatever with the little baby. And recently when they came over, my daughter was telling me like, oh, this happened. We're asking how everybody are, you know, how's everybody doing or whatever, because everybody, we know all their friends. And when we have parties over here, like cookouts, we have 40, 50 people over here, and mostly family, and then they all bring friends and stuff. So we know a lot of their friends. She's like, well, Natalie did this and she did that, and like she left and they broke up, and it, the way it was sounding like it's her fault. Like, oh, she's being mean. I'm like, wasn't Hayden like living at this guy's house or whatever? Like, what was he doing? Yeah, and she wanted to move out and get their own place. I'm like, well, duh, they have a baby. Like, what the like? Yeah, who wants to live with people when you have a baby?
Right.
So it's this whole mentality of it's okay to just hang out here and smoke weed and play video games when you got a kid, bro. No, it is not. And so I was like, no, honey, it's not Natalie. It's this culture of these young 20-something-year-old males that think it's okay. Like, they're not taking responsibility.
Yeah,
They
there's
can.
no sense of responsibility.
No,
Yeah,
and this
zero
guy-
accountability.
And I'm not trying to talk bad about him. He actually has a full-time job. He doesn't sit around, smoke weed, and play video games. He works full-time. And I said, well, he's got enough money then to go get an apartment. Well, they just, you know, he likes buying this stuff. I'm like, then don't have a baby. like pick one, bro. Okay. Cause you got to step up. And this is one of the messages, you know, as we talk on these podcasts, I would like that to change. Like you know, we all have good examples in our lives, our parents, maybe our uncles, our aunts, our grandparents, like these are good values that should never go away. No matter what social issues going on in the world, some of those core family values are good to go forever. Okay.
Yeah.
Like for real.
Timeless.
I'm telling you.
For some reason, a lot of those core family values for a lot of these families have evidently faded out. And
Disintegrated.
They're just not there anymore for some reason. I don't.
The
It doesn't make any
grandparents
sense.
passed away. The dad wasn't in the picture. I mean, look, well, I've told these guys here, but I mean, before we lived where we live now, I was the only dad. I bought the basketball court. I bought the hockey rink. When I quit smoking 30 some years ago and I got rollerblades, they'd make me go rollerblade with them and the kids would hold me up, but I was the only dad in this entire neighborhood.
Wow.
And it's just, you know, I mean, some of the kids turned out all right.
I mean, every appointment we ever had to go to for Damon, any of it, I was the token dad at everything. And they would talk directly to the moms, and like I wasn't even fucking like they would talk straight to Ash. It was never us as a team thing ever. It was just like, you'll teach him how to do it, and I'm just like, I'm right fucking here, stupid. Like there was a few times I wanted to get real pissed about it, but I was just
that's not an issue like that, a personal thing with you or with guys. Maybe it is a guy thing. They're used to talking to the women, to the moms, and you look intimidating. Okay, so you know, like us military guys, like we, you know, even just tough dads.
Happy.
Brian, you know, you don't have to be a military vet, but when you're a tough dad,
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call Tyler intimidating.
No, it just everything
awesome.
he's not.
I think it's
no.
I mean,
to all of us, he's not. To me, he's not intimidating. He doesn't look intimidating. But think about going to.
And I can fuck
going
you
to
up.
a doctor though, right? These guys are not used to, you know, standing like this and delivering some news to you, okay? Or girls, right? They're going to talk to the moms. That's just how it is, you know.
It's just it was super annoying, and that's what his story made me, that anecdote made me think of, was just how I'm like, right fucking here.
I actually felt like that before too when our kids were little, and I went to a meeting with a nutritionist or something like that for one of our kids, and the lady was like, my wife and I are really close. We're sitting here like this listening, and same thing, and she was telling her something about the microwave, and I remember it stuck in my head because I was so angry she would never like look at me and tell me something. And I was like, what the hell is she talking about, this fucking microwave? I know how the microwave fucking works. Like I was so pissed. We walked out of there. I went off about this, what she said about this microwave for like 10 fucking minutes. My wife is like, calm down. I'm like, no, the lady doesn't even, what does she think? I don't know how to use this fucking thing.
Oh no. Yeah. The all the trends, man, where the dad don't know the kids' friends' names or their teachers' names or any of that stuff. I was like, no, I can contact all these people. I have them half the time alone. Yeah, like, I sure hope I got information. Like, I got to know who to find. Freaking stab.
So how did you guys, how did you find VFA? Like how did you get where you found Veterans for Airsoft and all that?
I think Fred found
Where did he find us?
I think
or he reached out to you guys?
I think he found the SFH page, and I think we went back and forth a little bit, and he told us about the event in May, and said, hey, do you guys want to be here?
Nice. And
then, you know, once we'll say partner with somebody, I call it, we become family with somebody instantly. I mean, you'll find the people we deal with, we're stuck with. We just can't get rid of them whether we want to. And, you know, like, it's funny because this is the first event that I will not be at. Usually I fly down, I'm at the event, but I got a trip of a lifetime. I'll be in Alaska, and these guys are going to be in Jacksonville doing their thing.
Okay.
So,
Alaska.
Yeah, it's a
trip of a lifetime.
Bucket list, baby.
Nice.
Woo.
Hey, don't forget, my lifetime's a little closer to the top half there than yours.
Hey, I am not saying, I'm not faulting you for doing it or anything like that.
But
I'm
so
just
that's
saying
how we
trip
hooked
of a
up with him,
lifetime.
and then he's just been sharing a ton of stuff. Like I've been seeing, I guess the old Six Flags in New Orleans, they want to try to get an event, but it's gator infested. Have you seen all the posts for that?
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
We
Let's
got
go.
people in Florida that can take care of that.
Yeah. Come on.
Hey, just let those gators in there, bro. Let them play
Send-
airsoft there, okay?
Send
Sign 2
8
waivers.
Florida men in there and clean them out in 5 minutes.
I would definitely go watch that. I
Hold
might
my
not
sweet tea.
participate, but I will go watch that.
That's what I was gonna say. Get all the news people involved.
Who's
Make
that?
it a whole thing.
The Tiger
It'd be
King
great.
guy? Let him out of
Yeah.
jail and let him go clean up the gators.
Oh yeah, or yeah, empty out like the pedophile wing and let them
Oh,
try.
dude, for real.
There you go.
Yes,
Ooh,
Yeah.
we're on to something.
Yeah.
exactly.
Listen up, New Orleans.
We got a plan.
Yeah. So
Right.
here's what I'm thinking. The gators will then be full, and then the trained professionals can go in there and tape the mouth shut and get them on out there.
Because they're going to be tired because all that eating.
This is perfect. I'm so excited. Let's go
But
have some.
that's how we got hooked up. I mean, with SFH and
found us.
yeah, I think he found us. Could have been
Cool.
something to do with even a shirt he was looking for. Or I get so many emails, but I mean, I
I'm
remember,
sure.
you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I remember his came in and then he mentioned the event, and then he said something about it being where the what's the name of the ship in
Oh,
Jacksonville?
shit. He told me about it too. He was
Right.
The
like,
USS something.
Thank you, thank you,
Whoa!
Navy man.
What?
The
How
Navy
do you
guy
know
comes
this?
through.
He's got inside information, okay?
But Ty grew up.
I have
Ty
my
grew up in
moments.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. It's the Enterprise.
Ty grew up in
Yeah, that's right.
Jacksonville, and then I, me being the protective guy here, says, well, okay, if the event is on a ship, can Ty get around the ship?
Yeah.
But it's been retrofitted and all that. So I mean, that's kind
Yeah,
of
because
Well, when
I
Ty
can't
goes
get
on a
through.
cruise, can Ty get on a cruise? Yes.
Well, can't you
ships are brand
walk?
new.
Cruise ship's very different
Can
than
you
a naval
walk
vessel.
from here?
Oh
Yeah, he
god,
could-
dude.
Can you
Yeah,
just
could've
park
walked
and
up-
walk?
Well,
park and
he's
walk.
seen the movies. He's seen you have to step over the thing to get through the doorway of a Navy vessel. He was trying to care. He was using his heart.
I
Gotta ask permission.
can stop all this,
No, I'm on team thanks,
Wait a
bro.
minute. Hold on.
I'm not talking
None of
shit.
this.
I'm on team thanks, bro.
You see how,
I'll
he
buff your head.
threatens us every time we try to mess with him?
I'm not threatening
I can
anybody.
just pull the plug.
I'll stop.
I can
Just pull the plug
I
on this shit, okay?
I can
I'll
just
stop
no, no,
being
no,
your
I
friend
can-
so
I'm leaving
fast.
right now.
I can just
F
go
this
to bed.
podcast.
Past my bedtime. I'm the old guy.
I would say I got to be up at 6 too.
You got
Oh,
20
shit.
minutes.
Yes,
we're
I
good.
do.
I don't have a time limit on these, or I mean a time. I don't know what you call
Hack.
it. Yeah,
Time
Yeah.
frame.
yeah, time frame. There you go. Thank you.
No, yeah, we just wing it till everyone's staring at each other, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I ask questions, I figure out whatever, and then we'll just move on. But yeah, it's cool, man. So what do you guys got? You got a lot of things planned this year. If you want to give a shout out and your events, where can people meet you if they're in the area? I actually had a lot of people that live in Florida that travel around Florida to play airsoft and paintball and everything. So what events are you guys going to throughout the year, and where can they find them?
So yeah, as far as events throughout the year, it just depends on who reaches out to us.
We don't have many set ones throughout the year yet.
Gotcha.
Correct. But we can be reached at wearesfh.com, or you can send it to info@wearesfh, and let us know what your event is. Our goal when we go to these events is it needs to be an organization that is giving someone a hand up, because 50% of our net of what we make at that event is going to go to that organization.
Mm.
So that did I miss anything there, Bryan?
Every
No,
time.
and again, no two events are the same. I mean,
Ever.
last year, Lance with a few friends put on a parking lot party. We had an all-day event, and
Oh, that's cool.
so we have this event. I think you guys are doing the Rock to Stop Suicide this year, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
that's in
Um,
August, I think.
Okay.
and I think there's one
We
more.
usually
But
have a September 11th event, but no, yeah, we don't have set big ones throughout the year
Yeah.
yet. But eventually, we likely will.
yeah, people reach out. I mean, we call it the Traveling Road Show. We try to get wherever we can. You
Our
know,
goal eventually would be nice to have like one event quarterly that's just an SFH event, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, give us a few more years.
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Awesome.
But yeah, we
again,
got
'cause
May's
that's-
pretty bogged down, and then
Yeah.
November.
Okay.
But
But,
we do put out a newsletter, not as often as we should, but if we do have anything coming up, the events will be listed there as well. If not, through social media. I mean, if you follow the We Are SFH page, Instagram, I believe we have a TikTok now.
Yeah, so the TikTok is brand spanking new, so don't y'all judge me yet, because I'm your TikTok advisor. While Lance is the other social media advisor. But yeah, We Are SFH is where you'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And then wearesfh.com is the website where you'll find the store. And then the newsletter is also available on said website.
Yep.
And whenever it gets made, we post it on the social medias anyway. So if you're following one of them, you'll see what we're up to as often
Gotcha.
as we can tell you about it.
Right.
And we will ask that, you know, if you like what you see, share our Facebook page. I know we're, what do we, Lance? Just a little bit shy of 5,000 followers in 3 years, which we find to be great,
Yeah.
but we want to hit that mark. 'cause
We were
then
hoping to hit
after that-
5,000 before May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal.
So
We got a few more days.
Invite your friends, tell them to check out the page. A lot of great content.
Co-branding.
Mm.
Love to hit co-branding before we sign off or anything like that. Co-branding is basically if you have anyone or if there's anyone out there that's a company that likes our mission, likes what we do, and would like to come up with a design that's specified to your organization but has SFH in it as a co-brand, you can reach out to us as well. I believe there's a link to talk about co-branding on the SFH website. But if not, if you would like to, you can also reach out to us at info@wearesfh.com.
Mm-hmm. The
Awesome.
co-branded ones stay on the page too. There's a few that you'll see when you go into the shop.
Okay.
Tyler, you want to do a plug on you guys' podcast so everybody knows where to look for it at?
Yes. So it's currently posted everywhere where you digest podcasts, Spotify and YouTube and everything. But it is SFH Presents, the 1 1/3 podcast, because, you know, he's an entire gentleman and I am not. But we get into, we go as raw as we can, and as open as we can. We get into mental health and just the dark and the work done and the how far we've gotten from where we started, and trying to ultimately make sure people know that they're not alone and someone understands what they're going through. But hopefully giving someone the courage to ask for help, or, oh my gosh, maybe I could try that. And yeah, if we reach one person, we've won.
Yeah, for sure.
And we
Yeah,
know
man.
that you have, because we've seen some people reach out to you through Messenger and through text just to say, hey, you know, it was bad and I happened to find this. I had a guy that I know up here reached out to me, and a friend of his had some disease and was in the basement and pretty much close to ending it all. And somehow before that found the podcast and said, well, if these gentlemen can go another day, I can go another day. I'll figure it out. And you just, I mean, one person at a time, man. That's it.
I was gonna say I got a girlfriend out of it too.
There you go.
Oh,
I would
shit.
say she reached out because she felt seen and heard on the podcast. She was like, "Oh my god, I've never heard it put like that," and it was like one of y'all was literally just saying what I was thinking, and that blossomed into the relationship
Really?
I'm currently in.
That's cool, man. Because I listened to the, like I said, I listened to the first episode today while I was driving around, and you were talking about something like that. You're like, okay, I feel alone sometimes because, you know, you are here and there, and then it's so yeah, okay, good, man. That's good to hear. Hell yeah.
Yep. So yeah, if it goes the distance, we're gonna have some fun with the SFH Presents being part of the whole thing.
Oh, of course. I mean, for real, dude.
Yeah,
That's
Zach is
awesome.
already like, well, shit, we could hang up the headphones, and we're done. We won.
There you go.
But yeah, no, we're gonna keep going as long as Spotify and all of them will let us keep posting.
Oh, just keep posting, bro. Yeah, we'll get over this censor crap. Like, somewhere we'll find. I started posting on Rumble back in 2020 when all the stupid shit was happening and censor stuff was going on with YouTube and all that. So I lost my original Facebook page because I was posting about the vaccine and masks, and they were like, shh. So I can't even get into that one anymore. You better stop it.
People will hear.
Yeah, don't be right. How dare you?
How dare you be correct in our face like that?
You're spreading correct information.
You're spreading the truth, damn you.
What?
The facts. The facts will set you free.
Well, I appreciate you guys, man. It's been awesome talking with you. Great to meet you all.
Appreciate you having us on.
You as well. Thanks for having us, man.
I'd love to do something in the future. Yeah.
Absolutely.
After you guys have some more events, and I usually have people on later. So, hey there. So yeah, that's cool. I've actually had my granddaughter bust in here before. She's 5, and she'll climb she's been in a couple podcasts. She'll climb right up on this counter right here on this desk and like look in the camera, and she can't hear because I've got these on. So she's like,
yeah.
I'm like, and they'll wave to her. Oh yeah, I just leave it in the podcast. I don't cut it out.
That's what makes it real, man.
Yeah.
Well, Damon pops in on the end of one of the episodes. My son, 10-year-old, he's on the spectrum. He came in. My TikToks are always, I'm Ty and welcome to my Nub Talk instead of TED Talk. But he gets that from his echolalia. So he came hauling in one time and it was just like, I'm Damon and welcome to my Nub Talk. And I was just like,
oh my God, that's awesome. What? That needs to be your intro, bro.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's the one.
It's
so cool. So cool.
But yeah, thank you so much for having us. This was awesome.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate what you're doing. Everybody watching, listening, go check these guys out. SFH.com or
we are SFH.
We are SFH.com and SFH on Facebook. If you search that, it'll come up. I'll have all these links in the description of everything. And I'm actually going to help post this thing about your goal for the road to 5,000 on Facebook.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
that would be wonderful.
Put it out to the community for sure. All right, guys. Appreciate you. You guys have a good night.
All right, man.
You too, man. Take care.
bro.
Nice meeting you.
You
Take
too.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.